Hey guys, how's it going? It's Molly. I am here today to do a video that I have seen a couple of people do. People are doing it a little bit differently from each other. But it's basically, I want to talk about some fall eyeshadow palettes, or eyeshadow palettes that would work well for fall, rich in fall tones. I also really liked Nicole Cutler's idea of showing you guys the palettes and then making it a point to film a look or a tutorial using each of them. So I'm going to challenge myself. This would mean more content coming from me, but I think it would be worth it. So I'm going to go ahead and share the palettes that I am personally drawn to for fall. This is just what I have in my collection. This is by no means an exhaustive list. I have, I believe, 11 in front of me, one of which is kind of a dupe for another one. So maybe that's just kind of a bonus. So maybe we should consider it 10 fall palettes with one bonus. So let's just go ahead and get into it. The first one that I wanted to talk about, and this one I'm not going to film a look with because I just filmed a look with this. It's the Dose of Colors Desi and Katie Friendcation palette. This is a gorgeous fall palette. I absolutely adore it. Like if you cover up this blue, if those aren't fall tones, I don't know what is. As I've said in my Shop My Stash video, the mattes in here, at least I think I said it in that video. Maybe I didn't. I may not have said it, but the mattes are wonderful. They blend really well. They're nicely pigmented. They're not too pigmented. You guys have heard me mention this a lot on my channel. That's kind of what I want in a matte. I don't want to have to spend a ton of time blending something out. So, and typically with matte shadows, if they're overly pigmented, they're tough to blend out. The pigment just kind of sticks where you put it down. Like I'm thinking of Subculture, ABH Subculture. If you are familiar with that palette, the original one, it's like that. The one drawback of this palette is that I do tend to get quite a bit of glitter fallout, but that doesn't bother me too much. I just kind of deal with it. So in the look that I did, it was for my Shop My Stash for September. I keep saying sorry. I used Dirty Money, which is this gorgeous, gorgeous, dirty green shade. If that isn't fall, like, I mean, come on, I don't know what is. But there's just these beautiful, beautiful shades. So yeah, the shimmers are outstanding. And the mattes are gorgeous. So definitely recommend this one for fall. Let me wipe my swatchers. The next palette that I wanted to mention is the Color Drain Queen of Hearts palette. This is, I believe it's on sale right now on their website, or at least it was over the weekend. It may not be now, but I think they run sales pretty often. So if you can pick it up on sale, you should. When I think of fall, I obviously think of orange, but also purple and that dirty green that's in the Friendcation palette. Those sorts of grungy, earthy tones. And you know, this has quite a few of those. So, and it also has some nice cooler tones that you can transition into winter with if you're into that sort of thing. I love this palette. Just gonna do some more little finger swatches. So those are some of the shimmers. The shimmers are incredibly soft and buttery. They pick up really well on a brush. You can use them wet or dry, whatever you want. I mean, obviously if you want a more intense foiled look, you're gonna use them wet. The mattes are really pretty nice. I'll swatch these. I'll put this down so I don't blind you anymore. But I mean, they just, I guess that purple doesn't swatch well at all. I don't know if mine's just getting old or if it's because it's a purple and purples are kind of hard to do. So yeah, those are some swatches. They're just, look at that shade right there. That is fall in a shade. This is a beautiful fall, like one and done shade that you can just blow into your crease, put it on your lid and be done. So yeah, I've gotten quite a bit of use out of mine. I don't know if you can tell, but like on this shade and this shade, there's definitely some dense which make me very, very happy. And I would love to get more use out of this. So I'm excited to start using this more now that fall is officially here. Which wasn't my Shop My Stash where I said that it was September 21st, so fall was officially here. I'm an idiot. Fall is September 23rd. I didn't know that. I feel like when I was in school, that was not the case, in my defense. I don't know. Okay, the next one that I want to talk about is the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. This is one that is maybe not strictly a fall palette. There's quite a few in here that aren't strictly fall palettes, but you can get really pretty fall looks, and this is one of those. Okay, so you've got 4 mattes that are relatively bland and boring, but for light to medium skin tones, you can create a comprehensive eye look with those and any one of these shimmers paired with it. If you're a deeper skin tone, screw the mattes, use some singles that you might have, and use these shimmers because they're absolutely wonderful. So yes, the weak area of this palette is there's not enough mattes to build a comprehensive look for all skin tones, and that's a bummer. That aside, the shimmers are an amazing formula. The mattes are a great formula also. Sorry, there's like a crazy wind gust. What was I saying? The mattes. I think I was talking about the mattes. They're pigmented, but not too pigmented. Again, right? I think that's an underlying theme of the mattes that I like. You can build them up, and the shimmers are just beautiful. Here are swatches of some of the shimmers. So this one, not so much, this one's not necessarily fall, but I do feel like the rest of these are very fall toned, and that's only some of them. So this one is awesome. I think it retails for like $49.50. If you can find it on sale, I would recommend doing so because it's really, really good. Next, I've got ColourPop Give It To Me Straight. This is a nice fall palette for somebody who isn't going to want something overwhelmingly fall toned. Like if you're more into neutrals versus like intense shades. Neutrals can be intense. What am I trying to say? It's good for people who want a fall look but don't want something horribly intense, if that makes sense. If you haven't tried the ColourPop pressed powder formula, they're wonderful. Not pressed powder, pressed eyeshadow formula. They're really, really good. So, you know, you've got some really beautiful shimmers. That's a fall shade. That's a fall shade. This is great as an accent. But I mean, you guys, look at those. Would you just look at those? They're just so pretty. So those are the shimmers swatched, and the mattes are just as nice. Ooh, that one got close. So yeah, you can do a lot with this palette. So yeah, you've got these beautiful berries, really nice warm toned neutrals, and I think it's just a great option, and it's super affordable. These little palettes from ColourPop, I believe, are $12. They might be $16. I can't quite remember. So I would definitely recommend picking that up if you're wanting a fall tone palette that isn't going to break the bank, that you can have fun with, and you can create a wide variety of looks. You can do super glam, super simple, natural, elegant makeup. The next palette that I wanted to talk about is the Persona Identity 2 palette. I just uploaded a indie makeup spotlight featuring Persona Cosmetics, and this palette was mentioned in it. There are some absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous shadows here. So you can make a wide variety of looks with them. I am loving the fact that there's jewel tones in here, and also neutrals, and you can do so much with this. So if you're wanting something that's not strictly like fall toned, that you can play around with some color, this is a great option as well. Okay, next is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. Again, we've got some jewel tones, we've got lots of warm toned shadows. I was going to say warm tone neutrals, but yeah, you've got some warm tone neutrals. So if that's something that you're wanting, this is a wonderful formula. This is for what you're getting. I think the price makes so much sense. It's right around $50, but it's totally worth it. I love that there are berries and oranges and golds. And then over here, you've got some deeper, more sultry sorts of shades, and you can really amp things up and create a very glamorous look if you wanted to. So this is it's a nice comprehensive palette. I feel like it leans more fall for me than it would any other season. But realistically, I mean, you can use any of these palettes any time of the year, obviously, but I feel like this one just screams fall to me. So those are some little finger swatches of some of the shimmers. They're awesome. They're just, I'm feeling very inspired right now by these palettes. I really, really want to use them. I'm excited to do some looks with them. And again, as with the others, the mattes are blendable. The shimmers are buttery, and you can use them wet or dry and achieve a gorgeous look. The only shimmer that I wasn't crazy about was this one, which I just did a swatch of. I think it just didn't, I don't know if it was the shadow specifically or if it didn't pair well with the base that I laid down. But other than that, all of these shades have been huge hits for me. Okay, next. BH Cosmetics Zodiac Love Signs palette. This one I don't think was marketed as a fall palette at all, but it is. It absolutely is. You've got these warm tone shimmers. Most of these mattes are very fall toned. I did a look recently with this shade and this shade, and I believe this shade. So those three shades on my lid is like kind of a gradient. It went this one, then this one, then this one. And it was gorgeous. Definitely one of my favorite looks that I have come up with recently. And I love this because I feel like this is another one that transitions really nicely into winter, because you've got these cooler toned, kind of icy sorts of taupey shades, as well as like a nice deeper purple. This shade here is a great winter shade. So I think that you can do a lot with this. You just need to tap into some creativity. The mattes for the BH Zodiac line are wonderful. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have any other BH Cosmetics palettes that have mattes in them except for the two Zodiac palettes. So I don't know if that's just how their mattes are, but they are some of my favorite matte formulas. They're not dry, they're nice and blendable and pigmented, and again, just everything that I want in a matte. So they're really good. Okay, so those are some of the mattes swatched. If those aren't fall tones, I don't know what is. Seriously, they're perfect. Perfect for fall. So, and that's another one that's very affordable. I don't recall exactly how much it is. Ooh, I feel like they're right around the $25 mark, and BH Cosmetics has sales on their site all the time. Not all the time, but pretty close. So pick it up on a sale. Thank me later. Next, Super Dirty. White packaging, no go. Jaclyn Hill and Morphe. It's a very fall palette. Look at all, I mean, seriously, you cover up those two rows, and that's fall in a palette right there. So I'm excited to play with this more. It has just been sitting in my collection. This Morphe formula was definitely from a time when Morphe had a good formula. I have been really unimpressed with their new formulas. I feel like their shimmers in their new palettes are pressed so hard that it's virtually impossible to get it on a brush. Whereas these pick up really nicely on a brush. I always use these wet so that they're even more intense on my lids, but they're great. The mattes in here it's not my favorite matte formula. It can tend to get a little skippy and patchy. So I definitely always set my eyeshadow primer when I use this, but I feel like if I do that and if I go in with a lighter hand and really focus on building up the pigments, it works better. So yeah, I have done some amazing fall looks with this that I've gotten tons of compliments on, and I'm excited to recreate one of those for you guys. So yeah, it's really, really good too. Now I've got my Violet Voss Holy Grail palette. This came in a BoxyCharm. It is one of the best BoxyCharm items that I've received. I adore these shadows. I'm virtually speechless. They're so good. So again, you've got berries, you got warm tones, you've got some cooler tones over here. You can do so much with this palette. It looks like you can't, but you can. Oh my Lanta. Let me do some swatches. These shimmers feel like butter. They really, really do. I know I say that, I think I've said that about most of the shimmers that I've talked about today, but these ones really, really are absolutely amazing. Again, fall tones right there. Boom. Oh, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. I can't wait to use it. I'm very excited. I think I've grown a little bored of the Shop My Stash thing because by the end of the month, I get really bored. And today is September 30th. So I've been kind of bored of the shadows that I've been using. In fact, I have dipped into one of these palettes the last 2 days and another one of them like a couple days before that. And I am ready. I'm ready to do other eye looks than what I have set aside. So anyway, these are great. They're really, really great. And the mattes, these mattes are amazing. They blend out great. I mean, you can even tell just from the swatches. Well, don't mind that line there. I think that was some leftover from one of the shimmers. But seriously. They're just really good. Highly, highly recommend that one. I don't know how much that costs. So I feel like it's right around the $50 range. I could be wrong, could be right, don't know. But it's 100% worth whatever it costs. Is that good? All right, I have 2 palettes left. One of which is the dupe palette for the other palette that I'm about to talk about. I'm just gonna get to it. Okay, ABH Modern Renaissance. Duh, obviously this is a fall palette. How could it not be a fall palette? Look at, it has an orange, it has berries, it has a red, it has a gold, it has light oranges. This is a fall palette through and through. Some of my favorite looks I've ever created were done with this palette. I wore this palette for my wedding. Didn't get married in the fall, got married in the spring, but still, it's amazing. And everybody knows that it's amazing. This is not a secret. I'm not giving you guys any new information. It is 100% worth all of the hype that it ever got. These mattes, ABH mattes, ABH mattes are hit and miss for me. I feel like so after this palette is when Subculture came out, and I feel like they should have just kept this formula because it's wonderful. Some of the other palettes I bought Subculture, those mattes are tough to work with. I bought Sultry, those mattes are kind of tough to work with too. They're not the same as this. I don't know why. I don't know why they would change it, but they did, and that's too bad. But these mattes in the ABH Modern Renaissance formula are everything I want in a matte. So again, They're pigmented, but not too pigmented. They blend well, like almost effortlessly. That's how well they blend. They're great. This is the palette that caused me to fall in love with ABH. And I have subsequently been somewhat disappointed since then, because I haven't been super impressed with their releases since then. But this one's really good. So, oh, also, what I was going to say about the shimmers. So there's 2 shimmers, those 2. In my opinion, that's not enough shimmers. This Antique Bronze is, I believe it's like a satin. Yeah, that's a satin. So it's gorgeous. I've done this as a one and done look, and it's amazing. But the shimmers they're not as vibrant as I necessarily want. I mean, I think I've been pretty transparent about what I like in my shimmers. I want like liquid metal on my lids. These don't necessarily give me that, but they still give me a beautiful finish, and I love that. So this is a huge recommendation. I think the Modern Renaissance palette is their $42.50 price range, unless they increase that, because I know that their palettes, like their newer released 14PN palettes, were more than what Modern Renaissance was. So I don't know if they increased the price or not. But if they did increase it, it's only like 45 or something like that. So it's not like a huge jump, and it's worth it. It really is. Okay, so then that brings me to the dupe palette. Now, this is not an exact dupe. The Modern Renaissance palette has 14 shades. This has 8. So we're missing quite a few of them. But if you are wanting something where you can create a warm toned smoky eye and have it look absolutely gorgeous, this is the one. This is the Collab Palette Pro eyeshadow palette. This is in they have several different variations of this, and this is called Best of the Day. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I took this as a transition shade. I deepened up the crease with this, and then deepened it up even more with this. I took the brown on my outer V, and then this shimmer is what is all over my lid. And actually, this shimmer is unique. It's not like the ABH shimmer shade at all. It's got more of a warm tone to it than the ABH shimmers did. And let's just go ahead and swatch some of these mattes. The Collab formula is awesome. I'm a huge fan. I don't really know why I bought this one, because, you know, I already had Modern Renaissance. I didn't need a dupe, but it's really good. I definitely want to try some others of these. They probably didn't need to include both of these browns, because when you swatch them, they look pretty much the same. This is more of like a satin, and this is a matte. I'm kind of rambling about this. These retail for about $15, if I'm remembering correctly. I think they were $14.99 a piece, and they're great. It's a nice compact travel palette. You can get a couple of really comprehensive looks out of this, and I have nothing bad to say about it, really. I mean, the only thing that I would change is maybe swap out this brown for a different shimmer that isn't so close in tone to this. That's all I would do differently. So that is going to do it for my fall eyeshadow palette recommendations. I am really excited to start playing with these and show you guys some looks. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.